Hello and welcome back to Live Streaming with Octopolis. Tonight is our very first Thursday Night Treasures episode, so named by Monique. She says you can call it TNT because it's going to be dynamite. So I'm Brian Miller, and most of you guys know me from all the streams that I've been doing with artwork, but joining us tonight is Dr. Christy Miller.
Hi!
And we'll let Christy do a little introduction of herself, but before that, let's say hello, let's do this. Good to see you. Hello, Randy Cakes. Hello, Tracy. And why don't we let Christy tell us a little bit about herself and who she is and what we're going to do tonight.
Alrighty, well, I am Dr. Christy Miller. I am a real-life archaeologist and a college professor. Tracy knows that because Tracy's been in my classes before. But my background is I have a bachelor's degree in antiquities, emphasizing Middle Eastern archaeology. I have a secondary education degree. I have a dual master's degree in museum studies and in anthropology. And I have a PhD in education. So therefore I'm Dr. Christy. I have worked and lived and traveled and played lots of times with Brian, but in Oman, Yemen, Egypt, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Greece, England, France, Germany, Switzerland, Barbados, Jamaica, because those places are fun, Mexico, a variety of places around the world. So that's why we thought travel would be appropriate. And since I'm an archaeologist, Brian goes on the archaeology digs with me. So he is now a sort of archaeologist. So we're going to talk about, today specifically we're talking about Egypt, where we went a few years ago, and Brian is going to draw fancy art for you while I talk.
So, good to see you guys in chat. Good to see you, Traveler Bob. Thanks for coming back. And when I see Tracy's back, Tennis Junkie is here to support her partner. That's good. Chow Time says, "Hey, Brian and Christy, I guess that makes me short round for today."
Nice.
That's a good one, Chow Time. Tracy says, "Now she's just showing off." And Randy says, "I love her already." Tomcat 848484 says, "The Master and the Apprentice."
There you go.
Good to have you on here, Tomcat. Well, today, while we talk about Egypt and our travels to Egypt and do a little show and tell, I'm going to be working on a little sketch and painting of the Sphinx and the pyramids. So we'll have a little visual. And also, guys, it's, as they say, 5 o'clock somewhere. So, grab yourself a beverage. I've got a nice red. I think Christy's got a white tonight. So we've got our beverages, which is nice.
Salute.
That is good. And for those of you that are regulars, we've added a couple of commands to the ink drop in the chat, specially for Christy. So peruse those rewards, and you'll see what you can do there. Tomcat says, "Don't spill it on the Sphinx." It'd make a nice little part of the art, right? So yeah, definitely peruse those rewards. If you're new to the channel, at the bottom of the chat window, you're going to see a little purple circle, and that's ink drops. You're earning ink drops while you're here, and you can redeem those for different rewards. Also, right about here on the screen, if you touch the screen, you can do a little pull-out menu, and we have sound alerts and stickers and fun things there for you. So this is interactive. Christy and I are going to be the ones talking and showing you pictures and drawing and stuff, but you're on the chat, we're here to entertain you, and vice versa. So, hey, Let's Do This cheered 50 bits. Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Let's Do This. And Let's Do This is our guest moderator tonight. So if anybody acts up in the chat, he's going to get you.
And Tracy already made a comment that flows right in there because, former student, she's a good girl. But she said that the Sphinx has already lost his nose. How much more can you abuse the poor guy?
Right?
Well, interestingly enough, as Tracy should know, everybody thinks that the Sphinx lost his nose because Napoleon shot it off in target practice. That's all over the internet. If you Google the Sphinx's nose, that will come up. It is actually not true. The Sphinx's nose came off about 1,000 years before that. The most accurate depiction we have is that there was a dude a pasha, an Arab guy that was running around, and the Sphinx was covered in sand up to his neck. And the guy was up there trying to be really cool, and he was sword fighting with a big old scimitar, you know, the big curved blades. He was up there sword fighting, and he actually whacked it off because the sandstone is very soft. And it fell into the sand. Everybody's like, oh shit. And in Arabic, oh shit. And then it disappeared. It actually is in the Berlin Museum. They carted it off years and years and years and years later, hundreds of years later, and they found it. And it's actually in the Berlin Museum right now, his nose, just his nose. So it was already gone by the time Napoleon got there. But the other thing is that his, Napoleon did use it for target practice, but only to kind of practice. He actually had a really, Napoleon had a really passionate view of history, and that's the whole reason he went to Egypt. He actually got his ass kicked in other places.
Was he a passionate man?
He was a passionate little man. But he got his ass kicked in other battles, and so he wanted to redeem himself, and he thought Egypt would be easy, and he was actually interested because he thought it was cool. So,
well, I see that Les Dudas says, Abe Lincoln said, don't trust everything you read on the internet.
Ain't that the truth?
And Chow Time says, hey, we just got our T-Rex wine pour stopper today, so wine it is.
So it should come up here. I just posted up a picture of, Brian's drawing. I invaded his space there and posted up a picture of the Sphinx.
There it is.
There it is. And in the background there is Khafra's pyramid. So that's what Brian is working on, right?
So, Chow Time says, always leave it to the boys to mess up the good things. And then Tomcat says, was it a scimitar or a selfie stick? We might never know. Tracy says, T-Rex wine pourer, Chow Time. Maybe she needs to know more.
Yeah, I want to know more too.
Yeah, Chow Time says, hey, look it up. A menagerie of wine pourers. Oh, and Traveler Bob cheered 25 bits. Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Traveler Bob. That's awesome.
There is a picture of the poor little Sphinx, with his little nose coming in just a second. You'll see there's a bunch of birds sitting on it. Brian and I took these photos that we're looking at, and poor little acid rain is killing Mr. Sphinx, the air pollution in Cairo. If you've ever been there.
You guys, yeah, when you get off the plane, you just choke. It's so heavy, the smog.
It's black.
Yeah.
You blow your nose and black chunks come out. And so it's very impressive. How'd you get so high to take that pic? It's actually, oh wait, you're going to like this one if you think that's good. How about that one? Wait, give it like 5 seconds and then you're going to see a really good one. There's actually a platform that nobody knows unless you're there in person. They do this laser light show, which is like the best, worst thing you've ever seen in your life. It's completely horrible and straight out of 1970.
Yeah, it was in one of the James Bond films, and it hasn't changed at all. And we had to watch it in German because we couldn't get tickets to the English version.
Yeah, and which was, Achtung, Chai, Iban, Cleopatra. So we only knew every 17th word. And I supposedly speak German, but I don't. Anyway, so that just popped up of me kissing the Sphinx. So there are all these fun little things that you can do. There's like this whole platform, and because you can't get anywhere near him, obviously, because he's a national treasure, but he's also falling apart. And so they put this little wooden platform around him, and it just happens to work out that this perspective works perfectly, so that you can do all these weird things. I think I have one of Brian being goofy. That's always good. We always like to see Brian being goofy.
Tracy says, aw, kisses.
Yeah.
Speaking of platforms and stuff, if those of you that live in Orlando, and I know a few of you do, Disney has all those like balcony parties to see the fireworks and the dessert parties and stuff. Well, at the Sphinx, there's only one place that has a balcony near the Sphinx, and they do a fancy dinner spread where you can have your dinner on the balcony and watch the Sphinx and the laser light show. It's called KFC. Oh yeah, only the best for you when you're in Cairo.
But you can't just get KFC everywhere, so it's kind of special. So, kind of. But the other thing is that they won't let you in unless you buy the full dinner either. So you're not allowed to just sit there and watch the show.
You got to get the balcony special.
Yeah, and the show is ridiculous expensive. It's like the most expensive thing you'll do in Egypt, and then it's like $20 a person. But that's like the most expensive thing, and people are outraged about it. But I thought it was horribly bad in a good way.
It was horribly bad.
Do you see Brian there now? He's bigger than Munkara.
That's right. I tower over the pyramids of Giza. All about the perspective. Yeah, the good thing about Cairo is that, at least when we were there...
Brian got the point.
Nice, let's do this. He's got the best He's got the best dad puns. Let's do this. Says, what happens in Giza stays in Giza.
Yeah, well,
Chow
some
Time,
of that you want to.
Chow Time says, hey, Christy, did they determine the root cause for King Tut's revenge? Was it bacteria?
Yeah, actually, there's only 2 people that ever died that founded King Tut's tomb, and one of them was Lord Carnarvon, the guy who put up all the money, and he actually was already sick. He had tuberculosis before he ever went, so he was going to die no matter what, but he conveniently died after the opening of the tomb. I mean, convenient for him because he paid for it and you got to see it.
It's a curse.
But they got to say that it was a curse. The other guy was one of the, what we call reis, which is like the head worker guy. And so he kind of did accidentally die, but he wasn't cursed. I don't think anything ever, and nobody else died, and nobody else got sick or anything. So that's another one of those kind of like myth things that, it was a curse and that there's bacteria and all that. But the only guy that is unaccounted for how he died was one of the head digger guys. I was going to show you a picture of these Giza lights because they're so horrible.
Tracy says, oh, that's so punny. Now, Traveler Bob, you said that you had been to Cairo and a few other places in Egypt a while ago. Tell us some of your stories. Tell us where you've been. What was like a highlight of your trip? Was something you want to share with the group? Inquiring minds want to know all about your trip to Egypt. I know I want to know. I promised earlier that we'd talk about it because I didn't want to spoil tonight's show. So you have to let us know everything you did there. Oh, Christy's got some of the laser lights going up.
They're really bad. This is Khufu's boat. He buried his entire boat with him, because as one does.
As you do.
Because he was going to need.
He's like, I got a boat.
He actually buried 6 of them, but this particular one, huge one, they found completely intact. It had been taken apart and buried in pieces like a jigsaw puzzle. And so when the archaeologists excavated it in the 1800s, they literally numbered it as they excavated it, and they took it back out into a different area, into a lab area, and they used the numbers that they had coded in and put it all back together. And now that boat is actually in its own museum, and you can actually see it. Let me see if I have a picture of that. I actually think I do.
Is that the one we went into?
Yeah, and it's up on these like
risers or something.
Yeah, so that you can walk all the way around it, and everything is actually the same. Literally his boat. It's not been restored except for the rope. So I'll put some of those up too that you can look at him. But that's Khufu's boat that he had to take with him.
Traveler Bob says we got to go inside the Great Pyramid, which was incredible.
Yep.
How did you feel going up that little tunnel, Traveler Bob? Were you okay with that? When we went, it was really hot, so it didn't really make me claustrophobic, but it was a little tight and sweaty in there. Tracy says, I get it. I would take my boat too.
Well, as one does.
And then Tracy says, no, I'm in education. I can't afford a boat.
Yeah, let's be real.
Wah, wah. Go ahead.
The Egyptian Museum was so crazy, so many artifacts. Yeah, the Cairo Museum is... Yeah, and as a person that does museum studies, holy crap, is the Cairo Museum scary. I mean, there's literally water running through the floor and open windows and things. And there is also, what most people don't know, is that there are mummies in the hallway. There are literally mummies in the hallway, stacked up because they don't have enough storage for them. And they're also in, the staircases.
They're just piled up like firewood or something.
Yeah, it's crazy how many mummies there are. And, they mummified long after the famous people that you've heard of. I mean, all the way up into Coptic, semi-modern times. I was looking to see if I had...
let's see. Traveler Bob says, we really loved Luxor and the Valley of the Kings. It was one of my favorites. Nefertiti's tomb was beautiful. You know what? I agree with you. Cairo has an energy and it's so exciting, but escaping down to Luxor where it's more relaxed and it's more chill was really cool. I like Luxor. I love Valley of the Kings, especially going down in the tombs where the full color paintings are still on the walls. Once your eyes adjust, you can see it. It was really unreal. Tomcat says, Tracy, would you call it the Mr. Beaumont? Traveler Bob says, fortunately, neither of us were claustrophobic, and we went early, so it wasn't hot yet. Mm-hmm. That's good to know because, like I said, we went, it was hot, and there was, 100 people in front of you and 100 people behind you, and you're in that little tight area, and it was kind of stuffy.
When we were in Khafra's pyramid, the Great Pyramid, the one with the little plaster bit on top, we walked through that one, and it is a big steep incline if you've never been there, and it is like a semi-half tunnel, and Brian's over 6 feet tall, and so he was like bent in half trying to shimmy up this thing, and as he was going up, this very large Egyptian woman was coming down, and she's sitting, she's like mumbling to herself and she's like trying to get past, and it's a teeny tiny little thing. I mean, I cannot tell you how small it is. It's probably 3 feet wide, and so you're trying to get 2 people to pass each other on this steep 45-degree incline, and she starts going shway 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 shway, and she's going down, and shway shway means slowly, oh my God, slowly. And Brian's like, I'm the one going up. What are you whining about? She's already been there and coming back down. But yeah, it's very interesting. The Valley of the Kings that you were talking about, I just posted up one of those. A lot of people, you never get to see the Valley of the Kings. You know, the pyramids that Brian's drawing and that we've been talking about at Giza, that's Middle Kingdom stuff. But there are actually pyramids a lot older than that. And there's actually pyramids after that, but they didn't fare very well. And they stopped building them because it's a great big neon sign that says, "Hi, here's all my shit, come and steal it." And so they were getting robbed blind. And so they went to the Valley of the Kings and they started hiding their stuff underground. And so when you go in the Valley of the Kings, it doesn't look like there's much to see because there's not much to see. It's hidden stuff. And then you go down these long tubes and walk down there, and that's where the tunnels are. Tracy says, I have bullied Sean and her husband, Boris. Oh, that's Tomcat. Oh, nice. Very good, Tracy. I appreciate you. You're a good girl. And hi, Sean.
Traveler Bob says, we thought the step pyramid at Saqqara was super cool too. Of course, we weren't allowed in there.
Oh, you can't go into the step pyramid. Good segue. Way to go. I appreciate that. So here is some images of Saqqara. And this is the first, built in 2650 BCE, in case you wondered, college professor. It was built in 2650 by Dozer. And
Gozer the Gozerian?
Dozer with a D. Jozer with a D.
Oh, not from Ghostbusters?
Not from Ghostbusters. He, his vizier and like vice president dude was Imhotep. And so if you've seen the Mummy movie, you know Imhotep is the bad guy. What's that dude's name, the bald guy, in real life?
Imhotep.
No, what's his name?
He'll always be an Imhotep.
Billy Zane. Is it Billy Zane? Somebody tell me, is it Billy Zane? I don't remember. Whoever that is. Oh my God, wait, time out. Traveler Bob said he got to meet Kent Weeks.
Wow.
Holy shit, that's huge. For you non-nerdy people, Kent Weeks is a famous archaeologist, and he did a Theban mapping project. Valley of the Kings is in Thebes, is the name of the city. And Kent Weeks mapped it, and he mapped all kinds of the tombs that nobody knew about before. And he's done a ton of other stuff. He actually lives right there in Deir al-Bahri, which is right next to Thebes in Medina. That's really cool. Everybody says he's super nice and a nice guy, but he's been working in Egypt since, the late 80s maybe. He's really a cool guy.
Wow. And we see you there, Eldrick. Thanks for joining on the chat. Appreciate it. And Tracy says, and Vince.
Oh, and Vince. Hi, Vince. What was I talking about? Oh, Saqqara. Anyway, Imhotep, not the bad guy from the Mummy, but actually was a very smart guy, and he was actually also one of the first doctors. And
fake news. I saw the movie.
Yeah, what else? He was like, you know what? We build these things called mastabas, and that's the image thought I just put up. Apparently I did not. I did not double click. There you go. It will come up in just a second. They built these things called mastabas, and mastaba in Arabic just means table. And so they would like be squares, and that's what they would bury people in. And so Imhotep's like, you know what would be cool? What if I put like a square on top of that, and then another one on top of that, and it makes like, this funny shape. And they didn't actually call it pyramids. We called it that much, much later. But that is how Saqqara got built. It is just mastabas built on top of each other. And it was an accident, really. And there's nothing inside of it. There is nothing in this pyramid. That's part of the reason you can't go in it. There's nothing there. It's down under. It's built underneath. And the other cool thing is that this is one of the only places in the world that has... oh, hi, Danon!
Hey, Quinch Press. Good to see you there, buddy.
It has a booby trap. So we were talking earlier about King Tut and the bacteria and all that. This Saqqara actually does have a booby trap, but it was trapped whenever the archaeologists got there. It had already been trapped. So what happens? It had this big thing.
Christy has to hydrate.
Oh, goody.
Chow Time says Christy has to hydrate.
Should I do... I have wine, I have baby Diet Coke, and I have water. But I don't like water. I'm not drinking the water. So I have wine or baby Diet Coke. I think we should have wine.
All right. Christy's going for it. Thank you, Chow Time.
Yeah, we could do that a lot more often.
Chow Time says wine. Cheers. And Randy Cakes redeemed a posture check.
Oh, that's sweet.
Oh,
You definitely
we could both do that, but I need it. I'm the one hunched over the artwork. Thank you, Randy. Tomcat, you go ahead.
Oh no, I wasn't bullied. Egypt interests me. I used to play a PC game called Pharaoh when I was a kid. Yeah, no doubt. That reminds me that I have put up this super cool. Oh, I'm gonna have to open up something here. It's gonna be all ugly for a second. There we go. I have this found this thing that is a dig kit for kids. If you have not seen this, I'll post the link in the chat. Except for that, I don't know how I'm going to post this link in the chat yet because I'm on like 4 different devices trying to make this work. So as soon as I figure that out. But it's an excavation kit for kids, and you get this block, and you kind of get it wet barely, and they give you like this little tiny brush and this little, I don't know what it is, some kind of little pick thing, and you get to dig and dig and dig, and you get like 6 things out of it, and it's the coolest thing ever. But how do I put it in the chat?
Thank you for the Hydrate Traveler, Bob.
How do I put it in the chat, Brian?
Either copy and paste or type.
I know, but copy and paste it where? I mean, how? It's on this device, I need it on that device. This is very confusing.
You're SOL now.
Let's see if I'm cool enough to type it without messing it up. Okay, Brian, talk amongst yourself.
Tracy says, for kids, as if they don't buy those.
Oh no, I totally bought it and did the whole thing.
Chow says, please post it. Our little one would love it. So yeah, Christy will get the link in there in just a second.
Maybe, if I don't screw it up.
And thanks for those who found that we have those commands in the chat for Christy now. So you're earning the ink drops. You can redeem those either for emotes in the chat or to make Christy and I do things. Feel free to cheer bits. Go crazy, people. That's what we're here for. You can watch your bits. They might go in the tip jar. They might not. Uh-oh. So we got 2. We've got
Arabic.
Chow Time has a hydrate. So cheers.
Time out. I gotta do that.
And then Tracy just redeemed a Learn Arabic with Dr. Christy.
Oh, that sounds fun.
So she gets to learn 1 word or phrase of Arabic if you when you have the time after you're done with your typing there.
Okay, Tracy, hold please. This thing keeps auto-correcting to like words it thinks it knows, and it's being very annoying.
Well, worst case, I can copy and paste it into the chat later, or you can send me a email and I can copy and paste it in.
I'm doing it right now. I've almost got it.
She's mastering. Christy literally has 3 devices going to make all this work tonight. You guys, the AV club needed to come over here to set all this up for us tonight. It's crazy.
It is a mess. Hello.
Oh, we've got some Arabic going on the chat already, Christy.
Oh, really? Alhamdulillah.
I think you're falling behind.
Oh my gosh, the thing is now making me log in. It's sending me a special code and all kinds of junk.
I can do it later.
I got it. I can do it. I just can't get the keyboard to come up. 7. Let me just tell you my special code real quick while y'all do that.
Yeah, there's all these things in for Twitch. They're like, do not show this during your stream. Like, yeah, that would be bad. I just want to hijack the stream. Quench
All right,
says,
I think I've got it to post.
All right, I haven't seen it pop up.
Hold on,
But,
it's going to.
hey, Quench, thanks for dropping in. I know you got to go to your guitar lesson, so have fun.
Bye.
All right, so Christy has
Okay, I think it went.
put in a link with no description. So that's the link to
the Egyptian dig kit.
The dig kit for children, right?
It was hard enough to get to recopy the link.
So,
you have no idea all that weirdness is going on.
Yeah, so that's
Okay.
the link for the dig kit for children.
All right, what was I supposed to do? Oh, Arabic.
You have to teach Tracy 1 word or phrase in Arabic. She redeemed it.
What do we want to do? You want something easy? You should already know. How about since you did that, I will tell you thank you, which is shukran, and then you would answer me back, you're welcome, and that would be afwan. So shukran is thank you, and afwan is you're welcome. And Arabic, the beauty of Arabic is it's phonetic. You can spell it any way you like. So if you actually Google and look stuff up, you'll see it spelled a bunch of different ways, but it's pronounced shukran.
Right. So if you learn your shukran, then when you go to the shops and stuff and they give you something, you say shukran. And if they're very polite, they will say back
Afwan.
afwan.
But sometimes they don't.
Let's Do This says only $7. Is that the dig kit?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's super cheap.
That is a great deal. Chow Time says, what's the typical Egyptian cuisine? Follow-up question, what is a native Egyptian drink? Well, you answer the cuisine and I'll answer the drink.
Well, I see where our priorities lie, Mr. Miller. You want modern or ancient? Because I can tell you both.
I think if they visited now, what would be some food that they would be offered?
It is pretty standard Middle Eastern in general. There is hummus.
And Chow Time and Rainy Cakes live in Orlando, so they've probably been to the Moroccan part of Epcot.
And you have also, the Spice Road?
Spice Road.
Spice Road, Brian and I love that place. That's Moroccan. And Sanaa in Animal Kingdom has fantastic food. And so does, what's it called? The Jico, the main fancier restaurant.
Animal Kingdom Lodge, yeah.
Yeah, it also has really good food. But
some
I
of that
like
food,
Sanaa better.
some of that food is related to some of the food you would find in Egypt.
A lot of it's just Middle Eastern in general. But interestingly enough, Sanaa is the capital of Yemen, but it is also a word that is in another language. I can't remember if it's Swahili that Sanaa is or something else, but Sanaa is the capital of Yemen. I've been there, but that's the name of that restaurant. It has nothing to do with Yemen. But the food is like, hummus and falafel and shawarma and kebab. But kebab is different in the Middle East, really. It is ground up meat a lot of times, and it's molded onto the sticks, and they skewer it, and then they roast it that way.
Tomcat asked about shawarma, and Chow Time says, we love Sanaa, and Jico is the bomb, which I think we would agree with totally.
Yeah, for sure. I make Brian take me to one of those two every time we're in Orlando.
Eldrick says, it would be interesting if there was any info on the ancient food as well, though.
Oh, well, hey, I'm on that. The other thing I was going to say is one more thing that is very much an Arabic Middle Eastern thing that is something called Kanapha. We were just talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
Kanapha is, by the way, in Arabic, here's a bonus for you, Tracy. When you ever see Arabic spelled out, transliterated, if you see K and then another letter, K-A is Kanapha, it's a hard K, Ka. But if it's K-H, like Khufu or Khafra, it's a spit in the back of your throat. K-H always means you spit. So Khafra or Khufu in Arabic. So there you go, a little extra bonus lesson for you. But Kanapha is this stuff where you grind up phyllo dough, you shred up this phyllo dough, and it gets kind of toasty, and then you pour, it's not really a liquid, it starts out like a soft, like a halloumi or something like that cheese, a very soft cheese over it, and then sometimes they add nuts, or sometimes they pour the whole thing over with honey, and then they toast it all up, and it is the best shit. There's entire restaurants that the only thing they sell is Kanapha, and it is so delicious. So if you ever get a chance to try Kanapha, definitely do that.
So, guys, we got to take a 1-minute break. It's our normal ad break. Some of you will see a commercial. Some of you will just see nothing. It says be right back. But we're not going anywhere, so hang out for 1 minute. And we come back, I'll answer the question about beverages in Egypt. Food. Yeah, so hang in there. We will be right back.
You do your thing first, and then I'll talk about the ancient stuff, because I have food and beer in one. I didn't think about it. I can't post it in the freaking chat. No copy. Can you hear me, Tracy? She told me she could hear me.
And we're back. All right, guys. So thanks for letting us take that break. Let's see. Traveler Bob says, we love the lentil soup. Yeah, lentils are huge. And Tomcat says, we know the Sphinx likes wine.
True. And
Tracy subscribed to Tier 1. Thank you for the subscription, Tracy. Much appreciated. Thank you. As a subscriber, you now get extra emotes. So that'll in the chat, you'll get some of the little octopus emotes, the little octopus guys. So that's cute, and some other perks. You actually earn ink drops faster as a subscriber, so that's good. So I promised to talk about beverages.
Speaking of which, did somebody say hydrate? Okay.
Well, no one said hydrate, but feel free. Go right ahead.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
So one of the first things I noticed being in Cairo are all the vendors that are going around with their rose water and their fruit juicers and stuff like that. So if you've never been there, that's very entertaining because, you know, a lot of Muslims don't drink alcohol. So you see a lot of fruit juicers, and they'll be selling different types of fruit juice and rose water and limons and stuff like that. But another beverage we discovered by accident was we were staying at kind of a Western hotel, but we found out when we arrived that it had just been sold and it was now going to be kind of like a Egyptian-owned hotel. So it wasn't like we were the last of the white people to show up, that kind of thing. The last of the Westerners. But at the bar, they had a bar, and you could order cocktails and beer and stuff. And I ordered a Stella. And they're like, yes, sir. And they bring me a beer that looks nothing like the Stella I was expecting. But it says right on the bottle, Stella. And we found out that Stella is the name of the local beer there in Cairo. And so if you want to try the local brew, just order a Stella, and you'll get something unexpected. But it was actually quite good, especially on a hot day.
We drank quite a few of them, actually.
We did drink quite a few of those.
Yeah, that's funny. I forgot all about that. They, in modern times, it is mostly juices, and a limon is like a lemonade or a limeade, depending on where you are. There's not much distinction, depending on where you are in the Arab world, between lemon and lime. It's limon, and you never know which one you're going to get. But it's a citrusy, it's either lemon or lime. It's not like orange or anything. But the other thing is that you asked about ancient food. Being the nerdy college professor that I am, I happen to have this that I just posted up. I think you can see it now. Yep. These are wall paintings from tombs, and it's about farming. Obviously, the Nile is the whole lifeblood of Egypt, and it was then even. And so as it floods, interestingly enough, as the Nile floods, nobody can work. And so that's when they would go and put their labor into building the pyramids and the tombs and things. And then when the Nile recedes is when they would have all this great farmland. So they could grow tons of things. They had arbors, they had whole trees that they would practice growing, and they had fruits and vegetables and grains and tons of stuff. They had just a massive amount of a variety of food. They're known for their bread. They had different kinds of cereal grains. You do know that's why we call it cereal, right? Cereal grain, cereal. The cereal aisle is because it's based on cereal grains, which are, you know, barley, oat, wheat, rye, those kinds of things. I know. I think that's really obvious, but Brian's always like, wow, I had no idea. Huh, there you go. So anyway, they're known for their bread. And so these are some images of bread making in ancient Egypt. And again, these are from wall tombs and different things. Is the bread showing, Brian? Some lady bent over something?
Yeah, it showed up. Yeah,
that's a kern.
It says bread right on the slide.
Well, there you go. The lady in the top, those are called kerns. Here in our part of the world, we call those monomatates, where you grind things on them, but they're small.
Hakuna Matata to you too.
Yeah. Wrong matata. Matate. Anyway, you grind grain on them, but in the Middle East, they're huge. They're really, really big. They're like 6 feet tall, and so they're called kerns, Q-U-E-R-Ns. But then, beverages. Here's some interesting tidbits. The first, oldest beverage that was made in the world. Obviously, we had water and milk. Milk's a whole fascinating story we'll talk about some other time. But oldest beverage in the world is beer, not wine. A lot of people think it's wine. It is actually beer. And the Egyptians are the ones that are known for making their beer. But their beer, because it was based off the great grains they had, it was so thick and so chunky that if you look in here, you can see on the bottom picture, there's these people with these like long tubes sticking out. They invented straws so that they could drink their beer. So they'd be these big vats, and they would have the beer set in it. And you know how you get a head on beer? Well, that actually, in ancient Egyptian times, was like the first, several inches of it were undrinkable. It was all the crap that floated to the top, because it floats to the top. And so they put the straws in, and they could drink the beer at the bottom. So beer was one of the oldest beverages. Honey mead and beer are really close.
Well, speaking of undrinkable, Whitney says American Stella, I guess Belgian Stella,
Right.
is so awful. It's interesting to hear that it's different in Cairo. Yeah, it's not even the same Stella. It just happens to be the same name. It's not Stella Artois. It's just Stella.
Yeah.
But that's hilarious. And Chowtime says, nah, that was the first tailgate party.
True enough. Probably was. They were hanging out watching the Hebset, which is like their version of, big sporting event. It's chariot races. I just put up another one on wine because the Egyptians did make wine. So again, wine wasn't only happening in Rome. And as a matter of fact, Rome stole most of its inventions, just like Greece, from Egypt. And so a lot of the original glass, the concept of arch, the concrete, the wine, all that stuff was stolen from the Egyptians. The Egyptians had figured it out first. And then the Greeks and Romans came in and like, look what we did today. And the Egyptians are like, yeah, whatever.
Cultural appropriation.
Yeah. All right, let's see what else we got in here. Oh yeah, fish and the diseases that fish give you.
Fish diseases.
Fish diseases, yeah. They give you, I can't say that word. That's why I write it down on
They
the
give you
slide.
fish diseases?
Yeah. It gives you a bacterial infection and, you tell me again what it's called.
I think they're just in denial. I was waiting for Les Dudas to say it, but he didn't.
That's so horrible. Birdies, lots of birdies that were eaten as well, obviously, because they're near the water. Pigs are an interesting thing. The little piggies, there goes through a period of history where the Egyptians stopped eating pork. They considered it to be unclean. And actually, the super wealthy did not eat anything out of the Nile either, at all. They didn't eat the fish either. But the whole idea of Jews and Arabs not eating pork probably comes from ancient Egypt. They went through this whole phase of not eating pork. They considered it to be unclean. And then that kind of spread throughout the world. They didn't like it that they...
Shot where they ate?
Yeah, that. So they're actually quite clean little critters, and they're really adorable. But, yeah, well, you shit where you get a bad rep. Oh, there's a nice slide on what people's teeth look like that eat a lot of ground grain that's coming in.
Tomcat says, this stream is becoming fishy.
Nice! Well played.
It's
Wow.
like an opening from, what's that show called? CSI Miami.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
It's
when you get off his
becoming
glasses.
fishy.
That's not right. All right, let's see. You were mentioning Luxor early. Did you take a Nile? Who was that? Was that Tomcat? No, it was
Traveler Bob.
Traveler Bob. You two are hilarious. Thank you. We entertain ourselves if nothing else. Did you, Traveler Bob, did you take a Nile cruise when you were there, or did you fly down to Luxor or take the train? Because there are three very different choices.
I did promise we would tell the train story tonight.
Holy crap. Speaking of wallowing in your own feces. The ideal way to go down the Nile from Cairo to Luxor is to take a Nile cruise.
And we had some friends who did it after we were there.
Yeah, just not too long ago. Last year or
And
so.
they had a great time.
Yeah, and it's really pretty, and it takes a couple of days, and it's very nice. And you stop at a couple of places along the way, and depending on which one you do. But the other way is to fly, and obviously that's more expensive, but it's a really short flight. It's I want to say it's like 8 hours. Does that sound right by train, Brian? It's about 8 hours by train?
It was an overnight.
But I think we did it like 10 p.m. to 8 a.m.
Yeah. Guys, we were on the VIP overnight train.
Ooh.
Sounds fancy, right?
Yeah, no. And this was expensive. This was crazy for Cairo. Expensive. And yikes. It was so horrible. First of all, there's classes still on the trains. And so third class is where you bring in your goat, your camel, and your chicken, and you all sit together. Okay, well, we didn't get that. We paid up. And so...
Traveler Bob says, we took a Nile cruise and it was 4 days.
Nice. Yeah, they're really pretty. And they can go to a lot of different cool places.
So this was not that.
This was not
This
that.
was you go to sleep and you magically wake up in Luxor.
And it's going to be great.
Rested and relaxed because you're on a VIP train.
So anyway, there's a second class that is where you sit up all night. And so we're like, no, we'll do the fancy one where you get like little berths, little beds, and you get dinner. And, oh my God. So first
and you get access to the cocktail car.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the cocktail car, which is full of fruit juices. which was very disappointing for us. I think they did have beer, actually, for
They
us
had
non-Muslims.
mystery liquor in bottles you recognize, but once you tasted it, you knew
it was not it.
It was not it.
The number one thing you learn living in the Middle East, in a country that doesn't do a lot of liquor, is that you don't ever order anything like a Manhattan or a Cosmo, because they're just going to put some shit in a glass and tell you that's what it is, and you have no idea.
You want something that's sealed up before it comes to you. Monique says, "Oh no, I'm late." Hey, we're good. We're happy to see you here, Monique.
We flew to Cairo, then to Luxor, and then cruised from Luxor to Aswan. Oh, right. So you got both. You got all the benefits there. Yeah, the plane's fine. You just go up and you go down. Essentially, it doesn't take very long. But anyway, so this train car that we got, it was a sleeping car. So it had these 2 beds stacked on top of each other, and they were about this wide. And then we were right next.
And how old was this train?
Oh God, this train had to have been built in the 40s, maybe the 40s. It was. I mean, it had not changed a day. It was like walking into Mad Men. So the next car was the cocktail car, which was smoking, which you don't think about because here in America, we've banned smoking pretty much everywhere all the time. And you go to other countries and it's not, and everybody smokes nonstop. So the other thing is that everything smells like smoke. This entire train smelled like smoke. Not to mention people are standing there smoking. And then you get dinner. Brian, tell them how great dinner was.
Dinner. It was so good that I don't even remember eating it.
Of course. I remember the dinner because it was a piece of white bread, a spreadable cheese on that white bread, and then it was cucumbers on top of that.
Yay.
I hate cucumbers, that's how I remember that. And then it was a meat.
Meat?
No idea.
Meat in quotes? Meat in question mark?
No idea.
Let's do this is like, damn!
It was a patty. It was like this big and it was gray, but it was meat. And then we got...
Here's your meat, sir.
Yeah. And then we got some kind of fruit, something that of course I don't like because anybody that knows me knows I don't eat fruit. But I can't remember what the fruit was, but whatever it was so bad Brian wouldn't even eat it. And then you got a bottle of water that may or may not have been sealed when you got it. And that was it. That's what you got for your fancy dinner you paid for.
And you couldn't lock your own cabin because you had your own private butler.
Yeah, to bring you your dinner.
to bring your dinner and turn down your bed and guard your stuff while he smoked outside your door and I think blew it into your door.
Or inside your door for that matter. Yeah, it was not a great experience at all.
Tomcat says mystery meat is the best.
Mm. There's actually a dish in Yemen called solda, and it pretty much translates to mystery meat. It's like leftovers is what it is essentially, but you learn early on in Yemen, do not ask what's in the solda, because then somebody will tell you and you really wish you didn't know.
Well, why don't you tell them your Yemen story of your roadside lunch stop?
Oh my God. Speaking of bad food. So Krista, my friend Krista, that's actually her in the picture that's up there. We're in Felucca. Felucca is a traditional boat in Egypt that they sail down on. So we were taking a little boat cruise there. I'm in the stripy shirt, and Krista's the one looking out. Krista and I have been together since undergrad school, and she and I run the dig in Oman together, Dr. Krista Lewis. So she had a dig in Yemen for a while when I was in grad school, and so I went to stay in Yemen for, 6 weeks or something like that with her. And only time Brian and I have ever been apart, by the way, ever, more than
2 weeks, maybe
not even 2 weeks, probably. We've never, before that or since then, ever been apart more than 10 days, maybe. And this Yemen trip is part of the thing that changed it. But anyway, that's a lot of together time, babe.
It is.
Whew. So Krista and I show up, and we're going to go from Sana'a to Aden. It's Aden, by the way, not Aden. We're going to Aden, which is on the coast. And we took a taxi because you can do that, and it was like Krista and I in a Toyota station wagon, but it's one of those small little what do you call those?
Like a micro?
Yeah, it was like a little tiny Toyota station wagon, and we got in there with 5 other people. So it's Krista, me, and 5 people plus the driver in this thing that held 3 people.
Nice one. Thanks for playing It's a Trap. That was perfectly timed.
That's good. So anyway, we drive and we're going along, and someday I can take the time to tell you about Qat. If you've never heard of Qat, Q-A-T, it is only legal in Yemen, and it is it's legal in Yemen, so it's a plant, but it's not the greatest plant. So anyway, they would stop for cot chewing sessions, and then we would get back in the car and go.
And cot is addictive. It's a drug.
Very addictive. And so we would get to our lunch stop, and it was a brick cinder block kind of garage-looking structure. And I'm thinking we're stopping for gas. And this is the first time I'd ever been to Yemen. And Christian's like, okay, let's go. And so we get out, and this is our lunch stop. And I don't think I have a picture of it, but I would show you. And it is just cinder blocks on 3 sides. And there is a hot plate. And Yemenis have this interesting kind of bread, and you put it in this ceramic bowl. It's like a big, huge oven, but it's made out of ceramic, and it's really big, and you slap the bread on the side of the wall, and it kind of sticks, and it comes this big crunchy bread. You know the bread I'm talking about, Brian?
It's called hubs?
Well, hubs is just bread in Arabic, but good job. But we go to
I do know the bread you're speaking of, yes.
You go to the Yemeni restaurant and get it. But anyway, it's this great big lavash kind of bread. It's kind of crackly. And so there's one of those ovens, and that's really all you see. And then there's like a blanket on the floor for you to sit on. That's it. And you sit down, and someone hands you a bowl. That's it. You have no freaking idea what you're eating. And so that's not good. And so we didn't ask. So that was our first stop. So then we get in the car and we go, and then the next time we stop and we go to this place, and it's really nice. And I'm like, thank God, we're going to get real food. I'm starving to death. We've been traveling all day. We're sitting down, and we've met another friend now. So there's 3 of us, and we're sitting in this lovely, lovely outdoor restaurant. It is like a semicircle building, and in the middle there's like this play area. It's got like a swing set and like a seesaw, and there's some birds, and then there's little bunny rabbits hopping around, and it's just this really pretty little scene. And so we sit down, and I don't really know much. I don't read Arabic. Still to this day, I can fake a few words, but that's about it. But they hand you the menu, and it's all in Arabic. Well, Krista speaks fluent Arabic, and the guy that we were with, John, he also could read Arabic. And so they order, and then they kind of forget that I know nothing, and I didn't want to look like an idiot, and I'll have this, as one does. And so I ordered this, and I looked at it, and Krista's like, oh, that's probably going to be pretty good. And I was like, oh, yeah, I thought it sounded interesting. And I'm kind of like trying to fake my way along. And she's like, yeah, it's like a rabbit, it's kind of like a stew. And I was like, oh, yeah, rabbit stew, that sounds pretty good. And the next thing I know, I see this guy walk into this little lovely area with the garden and the swing set and the seesaw and the bunnies, and he picks up a rabbit by the ears, and he walks out. And I looked at Krista and I was like, oh shit, was that just my dinner? And Krista's like, yeah, why do you think those birds and those rabbits are there? And I'm like, son of a bitch, I just killed a bunny rabbit. So I had bunny stew from a very fresh bunny that I really got to pick. But,
it's like Red Lobster.
It's like lobsters, yeah. It wasn't at all like that.
Oh, after that big speech, Chow Time has redeemed a Christy Hydrate.
Oh, thank God.
And Tracy says, poor bunny.
It was a very poor bunny.
I know, the kids are playing with the rabbits and the animals and the goats, and they shoo the kids away and grab one up for Christy.
It's horrible. It was terrible.
Now, Charler Bob, did you get to do any nightlife while you were in Cairo? Because we got to do a couple of things of nightlife, including a little river cruise with the belly dancer.
I have that.
Chow Time says, ooh, that's fresh.
Oh, it was something.
It was fresh, all right. But yeah, we got to do a dinner cruise. The food was, it's Egyptian buffet, so it's mostly cold salads and stuff like that. Tomcat says, was kid stew on the menu as well?
Yeah.
I guess they got lucky.
So, this Nile Cruise was not a cruise like Traveler Bob got to do, which was awesome and cool.
This is just like a nighttime.
Yeah.
You get to see the lights of the city kind of thing.
Excuse me. Yeah, and you get, like Brian said, this little buffet, which is you're not really there for the food, but if you can see the girl, there she is. There's belly dancers. Now, everybody thinks of belly dancers when you think of the Middle East, but they're really more Moroccan thing than they are anything. And actually, this particular lady was Lebanese, because the Egyptians wouldn't show that much skin. The Egyptian women would never show that much skin.
But the Egyptian men want to see it still.
Yes, of course.
And so do all the Western men.
I was like, so do all the men. What are you talking about?
Yes,
I wanted to see it.
All
Look
the
at
men
her.
want to see it.
Look at her. I was impressed.
Chow Time's like, did you guys go to Egyptian Hooters?
Yes, we did, and we didn't even know it. But it was just her. But she was Okay, well, there's two things I'm just going to say that are not exactly, appropriate. But number one, she stayed in that top the whole time, which I was incredibly impressed with. It didn't move at all, and she did a lot of moving. She was incredibly talented. I did find out later on that she's Lebanese and that she works on several of these cruises. She does different ones each night, kind of thing. But you also, if you know anything about belly dancing, you can you isolate and undulate your muscles, and it's in your lower stomach. And so a lot of them have like these poochy little bellies because they've got these, instead of having like 6-packs and 8-packs, it's all down lower. So it looks like they have these little puffy stomachs, but they're crazy, whatever that is, jiggling. And she was really good, but she did all kinds of cool dances and stuff and spins and twirls and the jingy donkeys. But the other thing, get that money, girl, that's right. The other thing was on there.
So while you're loading that up, Traveler Bob says, didn't get to do really much nightlife, but we did see the laser light show, but not too much else.
Oh, the laser light show, awesome.
And Tracy sees the picture of the belly dancer and goes, she's enough. Traveler Bob says, we went to the Khanel Khalili one night.
Oh, yeah. That was pretty good there.
Yeah, that was we loved the Khanel Khalili. It was a great market.
Khanel Khalili.
Tomcat says, body paint, question mark?
Yeah, she might have had some. She had some glitter for sure. The Khanel Khalili is the oldest continual market in the world, by the way. It's been in the exact same place for 3,000 years. That's pretty impressive. But yeah, it's super neat. I probably have some pictures of that somewhere. I'll post up in just a minute.
But after the belly dancer...
Oh, after the belly dancer, we got a Whirling Dervish.
He was really cool.
And that is also incredibly cool. Whirling Dervishes are a religion, and they believe that you can transcend, and you do that by spinning, and you kind of... it's kind of like out-of-body kind of thing because you go so fast and you twirl. But by doing this, it's also sort of a form of meditation, and so that's where it originates. But this is more the entertainment side of it. But this dude, and they wear the entertainment side of it, wears these big long skirts, and the skirts fly up, and when you go twirling in circles, it makes this cool, like, almost wings kind of thing that happens. And then he also had these circles that he would also move around, almost juggle, and then he would spin them as he's spinning himself and stuff. And the man never stopped spinning for an hour. He continually twirled and never threw up for an hour. So it was very impressive. Uh-oh, posture check.
Oh, all right.
You missed it.
I missed a posture check.
Monique says, get with it.
All right. Well, I'm going to crack my back because I've been bent over. Whew. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And Tomcat says, I'll try spinning. That's good. That's a good trick. Anakin. That's hilarious. Oh, and Chow Time gave us a hydrate, or gave me a hydrate at least. You can do one if you want it.
Well, I'm all for it. Oh, you saw the dervishes too. They're really cool. I mean, it's not something you've ever heard of until you're there.
Yeah, the Whirling Dervish was, I mean, as a male, I love the belly dancer, obviously, but
I love the belly dancer.
The Whirling Dervish was very, very impressive and something I had not seen. And just being on the Nile at night and the lights and everything else, it was really, really cool. Monique has redeemed to learn Arabic with Dr. Kristy. Oh. So Monique, you get to learn one word or phrase in Arabic that Kristy will teach you shortly, if not now.
So earlier, I don't know if you were here yet or not, but we learned shukran, which means thank you, and we learned afwan, which is you're welcome. So let's see, how about, what should we learn now? How about one of my favorite phrases that tennis junkie Jade knows is Mave mushkila. Mave mushkila means no worries, no problem, no worries. Everything's fine. Mave mushkila. And by the way, my Arabic, I learned Arabic in Yemen and Oman, so I learned South Arabic. Egyptian Standard Arabic, they pronounce things slightly differently. So if you hear somebody else say it or something,
what Kristy's trying to say is you might be a redneck if you say Mave mushkila.
But it does mean no problem.
And Tracy says, Hakuna Matata to you too. And Monique says, I like that.
Okay, so Mave mushkala. You can, if you break it down, Mave mushkala. Mave mushkala.
No worries.
But if you say it really fast, it sounds better.
Tennis Junkie says, now you have to do the Lion King dance.
Yeah, not me. You go right ahead, Jade.
Yeah, you go right ahead, Tennis Junkie. You do that.
All right, I was going to post up this picture of the Khan Khalili since he was talking about it, and it is one of the coolest places in the world, except for that it's not in the slides.
And I've been to a couple of souks now, and that one in Egypt is really impressive, to say the least.
I have it in here.
Aww.
Bummer.
No photo.
I have it somewhere, but it's not in here.
Bummer scummer. No good.
Sorry. No Khan Khalili pictures.
Tennis Junkie says, one more hydrate with Fireball and I will.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. You should hydrate with Fireball. That's something new for you. She's my tennis partner, I can say that.
I was like, that was said with love and caring.
It was said with love and caring. Is this, let's see if this is going to show. I don't know where it is.
We've got the word Egypt on the screen right now.
Yeah, it's thinking.
It's thinking?
It's thinking.
Okay.
There's like 5 devices going over here. Did I mention that? There we go. Can you see that? Can you see a man?
Yeah, we can see a man sitting on some stones.
So, can you see the woman next to him?
I don't see a woman. No.
Hold on, give it a second. I shifted it over a bit. We'll see if we can see her.
He's surrounded by like a brown border.
Yeah. So, that dude is sitting in a public toilet.
Oh.
In Egypt.
Good for him.
The toilets in Egypt were just out along the back wall. And so, he is sitting in the toilets. By the way, the Romans stole the concept of the toilets too. Knossos on the island of Crete was the first place to ever have, we think, plumbing, but it was only exit, so it had drainage systems. But Egyptian had it right afterwards, and they were trading with the Minoans, and that's how they figured it out. So this is an ancient Egyptian toilet. It's just a circle, and if you can see close enough, he is sitting right there, and I have no idea who this man is. He sat down on my photo, and you can see he's got like this little name tag on, like he's on a tour bus or whatever. I have no idea who he is.
We'll get you in a second, Chow Time. Don't worry.
So he, anyway, if you look at him, you can see how close those 3 circles are together, those 3 holes. That's how close that you were to the next person. Boys who think they have to go every other stall there, you should see these.
He doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells?
Yeah, he doesn't know how to use much. He's plopped down in the middle.
All right, guys, we're going to take a 1-minute ad break. When we come back, Christy is going to answer Chow Time's childhood story question.
Oh, good God.
So we're going to hang in there just 60 seconds, and we will be right back. And we're back. All right. Well, let's see. Before Christy tells her story, let's see. Traveler Bob says, did you see Abu Simbel? I was so impressed with that, both the ancient part, but also the fact that they moved it to modern times. And Chow Time says, I guess there's no Dyson dryers in Egypt. Yeah, based on that bathroom, no way. So Chow Time has redeemed Christy Tells a Childhood Story. All right, Christy, you can lead into one of your favorites.
Okay, so the reason that this is in here, that I had a very unusual childhood. I grew up, I'm not old, let's start with that. Jade, shush, I'm not old. And so the way I grew up was kind of unusual because I'm from the middle of nowhere in Missouri, a tiny little place called Blue Lick. Jade says she could hear me giggling all the time. Well, you're lucky I'm giggling and not cussing. The way I grew up is unorthodox because I had no running water until I was about 7 years old. I had no indoor plumbing, no heating, no cooling of our house, nothing like that. We were poor. I did not know that at the time, but we were very poor. So I had an outhouse until I was 7 years old, and I did not know that other people did not have outhouses until I got to school. And I know obviously my grandparents had bathrooms in their houses and stuff, so I knew that. But when I started talking to my people that I went to school with, and I'd be like, you know, where do you live? And they'd be like, down the street, because we went to school in town. We had to drive like 25 minutes to get into town to go to school. And they'd be like, well, I live like right over there. And I'm like, oh, you live in town? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, so you have a bathroom? And they're like, yeah, like I'm some freaking moron. And apparently everybody had a bathroom. Who knew? But we had an outhouse and a chamber pot, because I was a little kid and it was freezing cold and I wasn't about to walk outside. And so my parents would let me go to the chamber pot, but my mom and dad would always go outside. So it's very interesting childhood. But because of that, I have all kinds of very strange stories. And it's probably why I became an archaeologist too. Since I was a really little kid, I always wanted to be an archaeologist.
And it means she's really good at traveling to these foreign countries where they don't always have all the modern luxuries.
Yes.
And when the students that we take with us are whining and throwing little fits of, I can't go pee behind the sand dune, Christy's like, suck it up and do it.
I'm like, whatevs. I have zero sympathy. I also have become a little bit materialistic in my old age, and I think it's probably because I had nothing when I was young. So the end of that little, we'll call it the end of that little story, but there's all kinds of craziness from my childhood. But one of them is I remember going into Grandma's house, and my grandma had a great big Creole bathroom with a bathtub. You know, we had no tubs. You had a tub in this kitchen that you filled with water, and you stood in there and you washed. That's how you had it.
Remember, she didn't have running water. They had to pump water
on the front porch.
Yeah.
And so anyway, you go into Grandma's, and she had one of those great big tubs with the claw feet, and you got to fill it all the way up. And so I would go in there and I would soak until they would force me to get out. It would be like cold water, and I'd been in there for like an hour and have a little shriveled up prune. And they'd be like, okay, get out of the damn tub. And I'd be like, but I don't want to leave. It's nice. And it was warm. And anyway, it's a very strange childhood. That's why I was telling childhood stories.
All right. Well, you got 2 childhood stories out of that chow time. Well done. Tomcat says, age is but a number. Just ask the Sphinx.
Yeah. I hope I'm not that old.
Quench Press says, I'm back. Hey, good to see you back, Quench Press. The art is coming along. The stories are coming along.
Hydrate.
And I see Quench Press has a couple of hydrates there, so we're happy to cheers to you.
Salute.
Nothing like a little wine.
Look, Jade, I have a baby Diet Coke, too.
On Thursday Night Treasures. All right, so we took care of chow times.
Oh, I was going to talk about Abu Simbel real quick.
Yeah, Traveler Bob was asking about Abu Simbel.
Abu Simbel is super cool. I thought I had a picture of it, but I can't find it, of course, right now.
Tennis Junkie says, hydrate does mean a shot, right?
Yes, for you it does. It means fireball straight up. Abu Simbel was really interesting because when they put the Aswan Dam in, they were obviously going to flood an area, and they had to put the dam in because they needed to control the Nile to provide electricity for all the people living in Egypt. And so when they built the dam, they knew they were going to flood particular areas. And one of the things they were going to flood is Abu Simbel, which was built by Ramses II. And it was actually a gift to his wife, Nefertari, not to be confused with Nefertiti, that's a different woman. But Ramses II was there.
Ramses II! Woo! Way to go, Monique.
He is impressive. He ruled for like 80 years and lived to be like 90 and had something like 120 children. So he is a very impressive man. But one of the things he built was Abu Simbel. And when they flooded this, they knew that it was in the late 70s, they knew that it was going to destroy this big temple that he had built. And so he, the archaeologist of the world, this was like a united world project for archaeologists, architects, construction, all kinds of people came together to figure out how to move this monument. And it used to be that this thing, and again, if I can find a picture, I'll post it up in a minute, but it is, the facade is Ramses and Nefertari, and then there's a little hole at the bottom, which goes into the temple behind them. And it was kind of cut into this cliff face. Well, the actual temple is destroyed. You obviously can't move the inside of the cliff face, or the inside of the cliff. And so they just took the outside, the facade, and they moved it down to Abu Simbel and put it there so that it would be saved. And they rebuilt it, but now it doesn't go anywhere and it doesn't go to the original place, obviously, but they did save it. And there's these great pictures of them cutting it into particular sized blocks and cranes moving it, and all this, really, the whole world came together to save Abu Simbel, to save the site and move it to Abu Simbel. So it is one of those amazingly cool places. You are right. I'm looking for a picture. I have one somewhere.
Christy's looking for a picture. I think our little color sketch is coming along pretty good here. I've got a few more details to add to it. Tomcat says, if a large amount of children makes a man impressive. I will never be impressive, lol.
Word. Me neither. Yeah, he had, I can't remember the exact number, 18 wives?
Now that we said the Abu thing, what does Abu mean?
Abu, son of.
So we will see a lot of Arabic names that are...
Abu Ghanem, Abu Sa... And actually, means mother of, and Abu means son of. I'm sorry, father of. Did I say son of? Abu means father of. And so, and Abu is a nicety. And so a lot of Arab women will take the name of their first son as their own. So it'll become, instead of like your name was Fatima, and then you give birth to a kid that you name Ali, you become Ali. And
right, you become mother of Ali
right.
instead of Fatima.
Right, and so you become Abu Ali, father of. Ibn is son of. Ibn is son of, Abu is father of. So yeah, we see those anywhere. And you'll see people describe their lineage as Abu, whoever, Ibn, and they'll trace it all the way back.
And Tagat says, Abu and Jafar?
Yes. Just like that.
Monique says, I think we need a secret contest like the secret square on Hollywood Squares. If you pick a sticker to be the secret sticker, when someone slaps it, they'll win one of those coaster sketches. That's a
good idea.
That's a good one. That is a good one. Now, this week, we are doing our contest. So we have a couple of coaster sketches. And tomorrow, Friday, at the end of Friday's 1 o'clock stream, whoever has donated the most bits and donated the most gifts, so it could be two people, it could be the same person, will win a couple of sketches. But Monique, I think that's a great idea, and so maybe we'll queue that up for next week.
Nice. Oh, I thought I'd had him.
Oh, she's still looking for pictures.
Dang it just annoys me when I can't find something that I know I have.
She's looking for photos. Well, now what else about our trip to Cairo? Because we've talked about Luxor.
Tell them about how you got us into the fancy restaurant.
Oh, so...
Because you're so slick.
One of our friends was having a birthday.
Krista.
And that was the night we did the little boat cruise with the belly dancer and everything. But something happened that night, and it made her not have a good birthday. And I don't remember what it was, and it's probably unimportant. But something happened to kind of mess up her birthday. And we were staying, like I said, at a hotel that had been like it had been like a Hilton or a something, but they had just changed, and so they didn't really have too much going on. But we found along the Nile, I don't know if it was like a Marriott or what it was, but some Western hotel. And there's a line.
It was a Hyatt, I think.
It may be a Hyatt. And there's a line like through the lobby and out into the street. And we walk in.
Did you say it was the rooftop?
And I'm getting there. We walk in. And we go up and we're like, hey, we got a friend it's her birthday and we want to show her a good time. You know, what's going on? And they're like, oh, very exclusive rooftop lounge. Most exclusive. You can't get in, though. You can't get in. And I'm like, you know, what's going on? Oh, music and food and drink and blah, blah. And so I look at this line and there's at least 100 people in line. And if this was Las Vegas, I know there's no way we're getting in. But I'm like, this is Cairo. Everything feels like dirt cheap to us there. So I think I slid the guy $50 American, maybe $100 American.
I think it was 50.
It wasn't a lot. I mean, in the grand scheme of things.
For 5 people.
And were there 5 of us? Yeah, there was 5 of us. And he basically just like and waves us all up there, takes us ahead of everybody, lifts up the velvet rope, sticks us in the elevator, tells the guy in the elevator something. We get up there. That guy tells the guy something. They take us to the front of the stage, give us the best seat, and just start bringing us drinks and food and stuff. And
Which we paid for, don't get me wrong.
There was the most hilarious lounge singer.
Oh, God.
It was like the Arabic version of Tony, Orlando, and Dawn. And so we sat there on the rooftop overlooking the Nile and all the sparkly lights while Tony, Orlando, and Dawn-esque entertained us and our friend on her birthday. So it was really, really hilarious.
Yeah, it was nice.
Monique says Fatima was my pen pal's name. She lived in Alexandria.
Yeah, Fatima's a very common name.
MVP sticker
Yay.
for 100 bits. Thank you so much. Let's do this. I love that crown. I wish I could move my head and get into it.
Yeah.
Eric says that reminds me of Pee-wee's secret word.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You said the secret word. Tracy says, I was all geared up for the camel story. I'm just saying.
Oh, it's coming.
Oh, wait, okay. I think she's got it queued up there.
I got it queued up.
Monique says, wow, that was a VIP experience, lol. It was this weird mix of VIP and like being in a Borat film. It was very bizarre.
It was very strange.
But not unenjoyable.
Yeah. One of those happy accident kind of things.
Yes, very happy accident. And, when is the only time you get to feel like a high roller when you slip someone like 20 or 50 bucks and they're like, oh,
welcome, Mr. Miller.
You just paid my rent for the month. Come on in, Mr. Miller.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Okay, so Christy's, I think, got the camel story queued up.
Brian hates this story.
I don't hate it.
I mean, love to tell this story.
She likes to tell the story. Look, we all do foolish things. I didn't know any Arabic at the time.
Don't give it away. So, I tell this to every class. I teach art and archaeology of Egypt, and I teach old world archaeology. And Brian's going to sneak off and get a drink here, but the way we're set up, he has to practically crawl out of our office, so that's highly entertaining for me. But notice how he's leaving during this story. No, I'm fine, thank you. So anyway, on the picture I just posted up there, when we got to Giza, we had a delay. Our plane, I don't remember, something stupid happened to our plane, and so we ended up being late, like 10 hours late getting into Giza. And we were meeting Krista and her husband and another friend, Vanessa. And so they were obviously already there and messing around. And so by the time we land, we get to our hotel, they're like, we're already at the pyramids, come on down and meet us there. And we're like, okay. And so we hit the ground running, and in the cab, Brian's like, I don't know any Arabic. And I'm like, oh, you're fine. You don't need to know anything here. Most people speak English. And I was like, shukran is thank you. And ewa, or nam, depending on where you are, means yes, and la means no. La is easy to remember. La means no. Shukran means thank you. You don't need anything else. We're fine. So we get there, and we get there in time for Krista and them to do...
Thanks for slapping the sticker, Traveler Bob.
So we get there in time for everybody's doing these camel rides, and these are fancy camel rides, and so and this is kind of expensive in the grand scheme of things. And so Brian and I shared a camel, and so that's what this photo is. We got the fancy camel. You can see he's got all his doodads on and his fancy blanket and the whole deal. And if you've never been on a camel before, it's like one of the craziest things in the world. Camel, they start sitting down, and then the way their legs work, their knees bow out, so they go backwards, and then they go all the way back again, and then they come up. And so you feel like you're going to fall completely forward and then completely backward, and then you're standing up. And they're very weird animals, but it's completely awesome. So anyway, we did this nice camel ride, and we go around, not there, and so you can see us, we're up on the camel, we're having a good time, all is great. There's a picture of us at the actual pyramids to prove we were really there. And then, as we're going along, we see this guy, and this guy's just cruising around, and every independent families are the ones that do these camel rides. So it's a private family, and like your family's in charge of this particular section. It's, just like a vendor kind of thing. And so this guy and his family were packing up for the day, and they were riding off, and I looked up, and if you look really closely, he is astride 2 camels. He's got 1 foot on each camel riding along.
That takes some skill.
How cool is that? So anyway, we're on a camel together, 2 of us, and he's on 2 camels by himself. And I was like, holy shit, that's impressive. So we get done with all of this, and we all decide to separate. And they all want to go look at something else. And I had to go.
Oh, guys, the hype train is coming.
Uh-oh. So I had to go.
Hype train.
There's it there. There you go.
Oh, guys, we're at 19% of the hype train. I don't know. You have to slap some stickers, hit some sound alerts, maybe get some subscriptions. We've got 4.5 minutes to make this hype train happen, though.
Okay, so quick, so I can get it in so you can be impressed, is that we all separate. I have to go to the bathroom. I tell Brian, stay here. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. There's a little old lady right here. She's got water. Give her an American dollar. She'll give you whatever you want. Just stand here. I'll be right back. So I come back, and I can't find him anywhere. And I'm like, where in the hell did he go? And so I'm looking around, and if you can see this photo, it's going to load in just a second. If you see it, you'll see that I am the person in the very, very, very background that's teeny tiny. And there's Brian on a camel. And I look up out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, there's some other sucker up on a camel. And I start looking again, and I'm like, holy shit, that's my sucker up on that camel. And so I come up on him, and I'm like, what are you doing? We already did a camel ride. He's like, I don't know. And I'm like, get the hell off the camel. What are you doing? He's like, I don't know. He's like, I was minding my own business. and these guys come along, and the next thing I know, I'm up here, and I said la, 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 like 100 times, and nobody listened to me, and now I'm on the damn camel, and I can't get off. And I was like, what's on your head? And he's like, it's a keffiyeh. And I'm like, it is not. And so they like put a napkin with a string around it.
And they're like, you look like Prince.
Like, you want a shake.
That's right. You're a handsome shake on camel. Take a picture. Maybe $20? I'm like, $20.
Well, worse is they took his camera and they were taking photos with his phone to get all of his document, him being a cool prince on a camel. And so they have his phone, they have his camera, and they're taking all these photos, and they won't give the camera back, and they won't get him off the camel. And because he's like, la, 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 and they're ignoring him. So I walk over.
Thank you, Chow Time, for the sticker. Thank you so much, Monique, for the 21 bits. Guys, we're 26% of the way to the hype train, and we're also almost halfway to a sticker party. So
nice.
Keep it going. We see what we can do here in the next 2.5 minutes.
So anyway, I walked over there. Oh, there's a sound alert. So
hype sticker.
I walked over there, and in Arabic, I was like, "Get him down," and they're like, "Oh," and so he comes down, and they kind of close in around him, and they're like trying to get him to pay. Bakshish. Bakshish means, pay me, give me a tip. And so they hand back his camera, and they want him to pay like $25, $35. I'm like, oh hell no! And in Arabic, I'm like, Hamza, $5. And they're like, no! And they're all like upset. And I think he ended up paying him $10 total or whatever. But I was like, the first day, I lose you, you get lost. And he's like, but I said la, and nobody listened to me. And I'm like, it's not la, 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 like you're singing a damn Christmas carol. It's la shukran. No, thank you. And he's like, whatever. Sorry, it's hilarious.
Oh, they just slapped oops right over your mouth on the stickers.
Okay.
So, yeah, thank you so much for the cheers. Oh my gosh, thank you, Traveler Bob, for the hype sticker. Thank you, Monique, for the 4 bits. Thank you, Monique, for the oops sticker. That was hilarious that it showed up right over Christy's mouth.
Appropriate.
And thank you, Let's Do This, for the LOL sticker for 100 bits. Guys, we're almost halfway to the hype train with 1.5 minutes to go, and we're halfway to a sticker party. Now remember, if we unlock the sticker party, stickers are free during the sticker party. So you got to do that. Tracy says, hey Brian, the first time I heard that story, I knew I wanted to be your friend. I can't tell how embarrassing it was, but if you were there in person, these guys, they had their scam set up, right? I mean, they've got a little wooden box, and they give you a little, they like wrap the thing around your head, and they give you a little push, and the next thing you know, you're sitting on the camel. So it was quite hilarious, to say the least.
It was hilarious.
Oh, there's another good sticker.
Nice.
So Let's Do This cheered 50 bits. Oh my gosh, guys, we're 61% of the way to the hype train with 30 seconds left to go. I don't know if we could do it or not. Traveler Bob cheered 5 bits. And Tomcat slapped the rubber chicken sticker for 100 bits. Oh my gosh, 22 seconds to go on the hype train.
Ruh-roh.
You guys are going to really have to bring it if we're going to unlock that one. But we're really close on the sticker party. We're like 1,200 out of 2,000. So really just a couple of more stickers and we can unlock that sticker party.
Oh.
Wow, Let's Do This cheered 100 bits. Oh, there's only 4 seconds left to go. Monique cheered 14 bits. We're so close.
75.
Oh no. Oh no. Well, we missed the train this time,
so
guys.
Close.
Oh, better luck next time. But we're really close on the sticker party. So if you want to make that happen, slap a couple more stickers.
Tomcat just did.
Ooh, the dabbing unicorn sticker. You gotta like that one. The Unidab. I love that. That's so great. What are we at? We're close on the sticker party. Yeah, we just need a few more of those. So have fun with the stickers. Christy, do you have another photo queued up for us?
Oh, I was just thinking because Brian was working on his Sphinx down there that people think that the Sphinx, the only one there is the giant guy out in front of Khufu's, Khafra's pyramid. But there's actually lots of different Sphinx. There's some at Luxor, there's some at Karnak. There's rows of them. There's like 20 of them at Karnak. But they're just little.
Sphinx, everywhere Sphinx.
The little Sphinx. Here's a picture of the little Sphinx. That's L-I-L, little Sphinx. Sphinxes, Sphinxi. Not clear on that. But in Arabic, it doesn't matter. So anyway, I just thought it was interesting that there are other of them out there that people don't know. Another funny thing is that the pyramid, when Khafra was building his pyramid,
Traveler Bob cheered 22 bits.
Yay! When Khafra was building his pyramid, The whole reason the Sphinx is there is it was a total accident. He was building the pyramid, and in order to build pyramids, they had to make these causeways, like these roads from the Nile to bring those giant stones to the pyramid.
Cheers, Tomcat. Thank you.
Oh, hey, I'm in. Wait, time out.
Tomcat slapped the cheers sticker.
You can always count on me to drink. So anyway, he had to build this causeway to move the stones. Well, as they're building the causeway, they run into this giant boulder, and they can't move it. It's like part of the earth. And so they're like, what the hell do we do? And so Khafra was like, well, let's make something cool. And one of his viziers is like, I got this idea. And so they carved the Sphinx there because it was a giant rock in the middle of his way and he didn't know what to do with it. And then they moved the causeway over to finish off his pyramid. So it was a total accident that the Sphinx is even there at all.
Wow, that's crazy.
Just FYI.
Quench Press redeemed a Christy Hydrate.
Hey.
And Monique redeemed a Christy Hydrate. You might have to have a
all.
wine and a Diet Coke. You might have to have
I can
two-fisted
two-hand
there.
it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, guys, we are, 6 stickers away from a sticker party. So I'm going to leave that up to you guys, but we can do it now. Oh, Monique redeemed a Hydrate for me, too. Thank you, guys. Cheers. I hope everyone is enjoying a nice beverage tonight while we talk about our adventures in Egypt.
I lost my button. Okay.
Oh, and a posture check. Thank you, Monique. Much appreciated. Well, one of the things that I really enjoyed about Egypt was just the energy of the people. And so what we don't understand as Westerners is like nothing happens until the sun goes down, right? So when you go to the Khan el Khalili market as a tourist in the daytime, you only see like other Westerners and other tourists. But when you go at like 3 a.m. in the morning, that's when all the locals are out. And the streets are packed with people, from like midnight to 4 a.m. It's just all night long. The idea that we do, that we like sleep all night, is crazy. So there's just people everywhere, and they're weaving through all these cars you see in the picture here.
Yeah, this is not a parking lot. This is traffic.
And the way the taxis work there is, if there's 3 lanes painted on the road, there's probably 4 or 5 lanes of actual traffic, because those stripes don't mean anything. And you can, and I'm not exaggerating, you can just put your hand out the window and touch the car next to you.
That's how close
or shake hands with the person in the car next to you, or whatever you want to do. That's how close the cars are. And there's their own kind of etiquette on the road, so that if the cab next to you is like 1 millimeter in front of your cab, then he has the right of way. But if your cab is 1 millimeter in front, you have the right of way. And it seems like chaos, but everyone knows those rules, and so the traffic just flows.
Oh, I did. I sat up straight. I'm a good girl. I posture checked. I don't usually.
Monique slapped a good vibe sticker.
If you look at close, you can see that none of them have rear view mirrors on their sides. Not rear view, side view.
Side view mirrors.
Because they've all been broken off all of the
Chow
time.
Time says, that looks like the I-4.
Yeah,
and Eldrick says, that makes Phoenix look tame.
My chat died. Okay, I'm refreshing.
Christy's chat died. She'll get it back, though.
Another thing that people don't think about, too, is that, obviously if you travel anywhere, you do, but the fact that, there's the same stuff there. There's a Harley Davidson, there's a Porsche shop, there's Hardee's. They have Hardee's instead of Carl's Jr., depending on where you are in the United States. You have one or the other, but there they have the Hardee's. Pizza Hut, I just posted up a sign here for Pizza Hut. That's what Pizza Hut looks like in Arabic.
Yeah, I see Pizza Hut and Hardee's there.
Yeah.
Tomcat says, that reminds me of driving in Naples, Italy.
Yeah, for sure.
Monique just slapped the pew pew sticker.
Pew pew.
Pew pew. Oh yeah, guys, we're only, 4 stickers away from a sticker party. It might happen. We might just do it. We might end the night with a sticker party. How cool would that be? That would be awesome.
Hey, that's looking pretty good there, dude. It's like you know what you're doing.
Thank you.
Nice.
It's coming along.
Nice.
Coming along. Nice little sketch. It's got to stay on target here.
Stay on
target.
Monique
just slapped the gold star sticker.
Oh, I just closed the wrong window.
The gold star is on my forehead. Wait. There. The gold star is my hat. I have a gold star for a hat.
You have a hat?
Can you see it? I have a gold star. But yeah, it's coming along.
All right. Let's see. Nope. That's not what I wanted. Hold on.
Oh,
please.
Is that not the photo you wanted?
Those are crowns, Egyptian crowns. Each king.
I've got a crown right now, a gold star crown.
Well, and each king has 5 crowns, so you need 5 of them.
Oh, Monique slacked the boom sticker.
Let's see if that.
We're only 3 stickers away. Who's going to go with Monique? Who's going to back up Monique and bring the heat on some stickers and unlock that sticker party?
Oh.
Oh, we just got a sound alert. A tie blast. Way to go, Tomcat. I like that you found the sound alerts.
All right, can you see the crowns here?
Yep,
So you have goals.
We've got some crowns.
So you have the red crown and the white crown. That's Upper and Lower Egypt.
Pew pew.
You put them together. It's the double crown when Egypt was united. You have the blue crown, which is your war helmet.
A war helmet. I need a war helmet.
Yeah, I know. And then the only other one that's real is the Atef crown, which is the one that's like white.
Oh, here we go. What? All right, guys.
3, 2,
here we go.
Go!
Sticker party's on. Stickers are free as long as the sticker party is happening. So as the confetti falls and the music plays, everybody can slap all the stickers they want for free. So go for it right now. Let's cover the screen with stickers. You can do it. More stickers. Get that sticker party going. Woo! Come on, you guys did this. Yeah, there we go. Let's cover the screen in stickers. All the stickers. Free during the sticker party. Oh, I like that cringe one. The unicorn fart might be my favorite, though.
Everybody needs a good unicorn fart.
Ooh, yeah, I love that one. The rubber chicken one is really funny. That's great. As long as the confetti's falling, the stickers should be free. The no drama llama. I like that. He's like, peace, no drama. No drama llama. I think we're going to make some custom stickers for next week, too. So keep an eye out for those. Sick burn sticker.
I think we should do a camel.
Ooh, the cheese one is good, too. Yeah, we should do a camel. That would be fun. And maybe a camel crossing sticker.
Yeah.
That would be really good. Oh, you guys are killing it. Oh, there goes the last of the confetti. Sticker party's over. Congratulations, guys. Woo! Sticker party. You did it. That was awesome. Well done, everybody. I think this money's going to stick to my forehead. Ooh, titty! Way to go, Tomcat. That's great.
All right, so the last thing I was going to say here is that, because we were talking about Arabic and speaking Arabic and stuff, is that most people know about the Rosetta Stone and about hieroglyphs. But here's a couple of interesting tidbits to end your night so you can think about them all night long, is that hieroglyphs have no vowels. So there is no vowels in that language.
Is it just like grunting or something?
No, but it's all consonants. So
thank you, Quench Press.
You have to fill in the vowels. So we didn't really know what some of those words are. And that's how come you see things spelled differently a lot of the times. It is pictographic as well as phonetic. So they represent a sound. They don't represent necessarily what they're drawn as. Also, the way the beaks face, if you look at the birds, the way the beaks face, that's how you read hieroglyphs. So you know if you're reading left to right to left, up, down, right, whatever, is based on the way the beaks go.
Thank you, Quench Press.
And then the last thing is that a little tidbit for you is that people always say that there were 3 languages on the Rosetta Stone, and that is not true. There were 2 languages and 3 scripts, right? So there is Ancient Greek, and there are hieroglyphs. And then there is Heretic, which is also ancient hieroglyphs, but it's like a cursive form. So there's really 2 Egyptian and 1 Greek. And the whole reason we can solve the Rosetta Stone was based on silence. It's like chirping crickets. It's based on Ptolemy's name, the Cartouche of Ptolemy.
The Cartouche of Ptolemy.
We
Okay.
translated it. And we know what hieroglyphs sound like because of Coptic. You ever heard of Coptic? You watched the Indiana Jones movies?
Yeah, we've heard of that.
Coptic is a real thing, and there's still churches today that gives sermons in Coptic. And Coptic is the Arabic. It's the Arabic translation of the Greek. So the hieroglyphs would get translated to Greek, and then the Greek would get translated to Arabic, and the Coptics would speak it as if it were hieroglyphs, but it's really in Greek, so we know how it would have sounded, and we know what those words mean. So Coptic is the reason we know how it sounds correctly. So there you go. All that, and I've had, glass or so of wine. Pretty good.
Tomcat says, death metal goes well in the tombs.
That could be.
And Monique says, which way is the owl's beak facing?
That's true. The owl's not a good indicator. You look at his feet.
Oh, you look at the owl's feet.
Mm-hmm.
And which bird's head?
And the vulture and the quail, you look at their beaks.
The vulture and the quail's beaks, but the owl's feet. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
well, now we learned something. Well, guys, I think this sketch is just about done. I hope that you feel like our very first Thursday Night Treasures TNT show was a success. We really appreciate all of you hanging out with us. We're going to take about 30 seconds to roll the credits. So if you cheered, if you followed, if you did anything, you're probably going to see your name in the credits. And if you don't see your name in the credits, well, you need to participate more next time.
And you should sign up for my course, Art and Archaeology of Egypt, at Stray Mountain Community College. I'm just saying, you could learn a lot more.
That's right. Don't worry, Tomcat, we're not going away just yet. We are going to roll the credits so everybody can see their names.
My drink's not finished. Priorities, man.
That's right. That's going to take about 30 seconds. And
No
then,
pressure.
And then we'll be back, except for I can't get this thing to scroll.
Well, now we have longer to finish our drinks. Brian's driving at an odd angle here. How's it going?
Wow, look at those amazing credits, you guys. You did it. I mean, the sticker party, all the cheers, all the stickers, all the sound effects. That was pretty amazing. Let's see. Monique says, so what's happening with this sketch? Was it a commission? No, this one was for the show. We haven't decided if we're going to give these away or put them up for sale. Thank you for the applause. Let's do this. It might end up on our new Etsy store. It might end up being a prize. So we'll see.
Might end up hanging in my room.
Uh-oh. Christy might be trying to steal it.
Did you see this one?
You might have to.
My Totoro one?
You might have to fight her for it. But between now and next week, we'll probably figure out. We're going to do a sketch each week for this, so we'll figure out how we're going to deal with those. But it could be available, so reach out to me. Tracy says that Christy's class is completely online. And what's the name of your class again?
Art and Archaeology of Egypt.
Art and Archaeology of Egypt.
Australia Mountain Community College.
So you can do it no matter where you
A
live.
little commercial there.
There you go, a little commercial. Let's do this. Play the applause. We appreciate that. And Tracy says she'll take a print, please.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of prints, we do have all of my travel art at octopolis.com. It's another great way you can support this channel and have some cool art for your house. So if you haven't visited the website, you can see just above my head, it says octopolis.com. So you can go right there and definitely check it out. Monique says, so long as I don't have to play her in a game of tennis, I'm all for it. So she'll take you on as long as you play tennis. That's pretty good. Quinchpress says, Charles, he's picking out people for raids. Okay, we'll do that in just a minute. Thank you, Let's Do This. Thank you for putting the link up to the store. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm trying, but I can't get anything to work right now.
No, there's a command that the mods can do, and so Let's Do This. Thank you. Thank you to our regular mod, Quinch Press, and thank you to our guest mod tonight, Let's Do This. You guys both do an excellent job. We really appreciate it. Tomcat says the sun is missing something, and it looks like he's giving me a link to one of the TIE fighters are flying in the sun.
Nice. Little combine your genres.
Paint in
there.
some TIE fighters. That might be good. No.
Oh my god, did you see Transformers where they're in Petra and then they jump to the pyramids? That is some bullshit.
Oh,
but
yeah,
whatever.
you don't want
get me
to
started.
get Christy started on that one. So, all right, guys, we're going to pick a channel to raid if it'll work for us. But I do want to say cheers to all of you. Thanks for making our first Thursday Night Treasures TNT show a great success. We hope to see you back here a week from tonight when we'll have a different topic and more stuff going on. I also do a stream every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. And we do Tiki Tuesdays on Tuesday nights at 7. So be sure to check those out. So let's have a nice toast.
Cheers.